All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. How's everybody doing?
What is going
How
on,
are you,
Coach
Coach
Dakota?
Jay? Just getting a
Doing
few
good, man. Doing good.
tweaks in the back end, making sure there's no audio or visual issues. We're gonna always be fighting the you being blurry, no matter what. I think is. I have no idea, man. We've tried a little bit of everything. I have. Let's try one more thing. Frame rate.
Try another thing. Let's see.
Let's see. But sounds good. Sounds good. Looks good. Everything else other than the blurry Coach J every moment, every once in a while. But not much I think we could really do from that. I'll refresh you for a second, see if that helps. And it's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough the way I view it. Good enough the way
I think so.
no one
I
cares.
think it's more
No
important
one's
that they
tuning in.
hear us,
Well, I
Dakota.
can't say that. Maybe there's somebody tuning in just to watch you, Jay,
Somebody might
visually.
be.
Visually,
Some-
ever
Somebody
since
might
a
be.
few months ago.
Someone might be watching.
Anyway, how have you been? How's everything on your end? And how is your trading?
I've been good, man. Been good. Trading over the past, we'll call it 3 weeks to a month, has been pretty good. Not a lot to complain about there. I think I'm reading the market pretty well. Could be executing a little bit better, but doing well. Just kind of stay on that streak. I've had some losing days recently. I think we both had a day Monday that was, you know, we were up after we closed fast markets, and I ended up as a personal daily loss limit day. So trying to avoid those as much as possible. But good days overall. How about you, man?
Same. I mean, uh, it was a rough. I don't know. It was an interesting day. And maybe let's see. What's your thoughts on this, Coach Jay? Now your video looks 4K, dude. You look 4K. Um,
Live and direct.
I don't know. Maybe it was you just had to move or adjust or your camera zoom or something. But what's your thoughts on this? Past 2 days. Let me walk through my yesterday. I have you here. So let's talk a little bit about trading psychology. I go through it. Traders go through it all the time. I go through it. Traders like, yeah, Dakota, you have nerves of steel. You're emotionless. I'm just good at bottling it up inside, and then I turn the camera off. I go I go let it all out. At the gym, punching on the punching bag or something. Just being pissed off sometimes at stupid mistakes in front of the camera. But yesterday, I hit my daily loss limit. I switched to a practice account and I tore it up. I did amazing in a practice account. Today, I made a mistake switching from stupid micros to minis and the contract size, and then thinking, you know what, this is still a valid trade. I'm just going to keep it on. End up hitting my daily loss limit, and then switch to a practice account, and then 40K, 50K in my practice account.
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm just like thinking to myself, you got to be kidding me. It's frustrating. And it's like, there's no difference in these setups that I'm taking in the sim account than I've been doing in my live account the past 2 days, outside of timing, right? Like the first say hour, 2 hours, hour and a half of the New York session, and then things just start to settle down. I want to blame the markets, but it's not really the market's fault. The markets are going to change. They're going to move. They're going to be sporadic, and it's our job as traders to adjust to it.
Yeah, it definitely is, Dakota. I will say that the first 10 to 15 minutes of the market open have been kind of difficult.
That was Zuro, and I
We,
need to stop reading chat. Zuro.
oh yeah, yeah.
It was not enough. Not too much. Not enough.
But yeah, I mean, the first couple of minutes in the New York session have been kind of rough. Pretty wide ranges. I've really honestly have been having a great time trading the S&P recently, right? I think all last year, all I really did was trade the NASDAQ. The beginning of this year, I said I was going to look a little bit more at the S&P, and I still trade the NASDAQ. But I feel like with trading the S&P for a month or so, and now sticking with it, it's helped be a little bit more patient, especially what the NASDAQ looks like right now. 6 to 12 tick spreads during the day. Sometimes we saw those, what we called tape bombs earlier.
Tape bombs. I love that word, man.
Those moves are insane, man. Those moves are insane. 150 points in 2 minutes in one direction. And if you're not on the right side of it, it's easy to take a loss. I think price action also has been cleaning up after the first hour of trade most days, and for the New York session. And yeah. Tough markets for sure.
It is. And I'm trying to bite down, focus. I have a big day coming up on Friday, Coach Jay. Everybody knows the pressure has been stacked, and I think it's going to be good for me to sometimes I catch myself being a little bit too loose, not taking it as serious as I probably should. I'm not saying from the outside looking in, it looks a little crazy, right? Like, man, how can you not trade making or losing 5,000 serious, right? Is this a joke for you? Yada yada. I'm just following my process. But these markets change so fast. I think I've been paying attention to the chat. I've been paying attention to like social media and just like relaxed and not caring as much. Like, okay, you know what? These markets are changing. They're beating me up. It's time to focus. And that's the reason I put that challenge to myself, saying, you know what, I need to do something. I need to do something about it. I need to put the pressure on me so I could focus. It's almost like we do a lot of sports analogies here, right, Coach Jay, where you could, sub in your favorite sports player, and you can kind of tell when they're not taking it as serious and they're not getting back on defense. And then come time where they actually need to focus, that's where you start to see things improve. So that's my mentality going into this week. It's Thursday now. We're half the week's already over with. I grinded out of my drawdown and then put myself right back in it. So here we go again. What have you seen? What have you felt? I know you were talking a little bit about Tuesday where we were both up positive. And then we just, for me, it was that one mindset, just one more trade, and ended up giving the profits back. And you went through something similar, right?
Yeah, I did. So for me, and I think we said it on Fast Markets this morning, what really gets frustrating for me is when I call out a trade and I don't take a decent percentage of it. And that's exactly what happened on Monday. So then I started to force trades. We are all human. Dakota and I are both humans. And we're susceptible to the same thing that everyone else is, right? So I could have ended the day up $1,500, did the inevitable trader, if I just held 3 contracts short, I would have been up 20 grand. And the minute you move to that mindset, for me, it's a disaster. Because then you try to find an opportunity to make the 20 grand that you didn't make in the past. And it's better to just lock out at that point. So, I think, the markets have been presenting some really good opportunities to us. I like what you said, Dakota, about putting that pressure on yourself. I said it for myself as well, that I'm going to try to be a little bit more assertive in my trades and looking to add to trades that are working and looking to scale up when it makes sense. But it's just about doing it where risk is properly managed, and we go from there.
Yeah.
Al Blacklock says word salad. So let's just sit here and not talk and take trades instead.
I missed that one. I mean, that's what we're here for. This is what trading is, right? This is slow markets. And by the way, since I did forget, in the YouTube chat, there's our Topstep risk disclosure. Everything you guys hear and see, it's for educational purposes only. It's not a signals class. You know it, understand it, read it, memorize it. But this is trading. This is the prep, the behind the scenes, the conversation, the mental side. Trading's itself, clicking a button, easy, right? Everybody could click a button, click buy, click sell, put a take profit, put a stop loss. Everything that leads up to clicking the button and managing that trade is kind of what we're talking about. I mean, regardless of who you talk to, you see everybody. Everybody goes through it. You know, professionals, traders who are new, traders who's been here for 30 plus years, and every aspect. And so this is kind of me and Jay talking about our own trading live in front of you guys, so you can see kind of what we talk about. And we haven't talked too much off of the screen, right?
Yeah, we haven't. This is our time to talk to each other. We're showing you kind of insights into what trading buddies look like, trading accountability partners look like, just friends in this game. It's necessary, right? Otherwise, you talk a lot about this stuff to yourself, and you're the back to the sports analogy. You're the player on the field. You're the coach. You're the GM of your business, and it's good to be able to have a conversation with somebody who's in the same game as you. It helps kind of pull you out of it sometimes. I think we did it last year, where we both either saw some drawdowns, had a similar conversation, and was able to get back to focus. It's important, man. It's important.
It is.
Otherwise, you feel like you're in a tunnel.
Sometimes it's the only. I can't remember who told this to me. I don't even know if it's a saying, but what is it called? Where it's like the only thing being like worse than sad is being sad and lonely. Because
Oh yeah,
I mean, if we lose money, we can lose money together and vent to each other and talk our way out of it, and help each other, lift each other up. But if you don't have anybody, if you don't have a community or someone else, a trading buddy, then you're kind of just talking to yourself. And talking to yourself, it's not always a great thing, because we're our own worst critic, and we do more self harm than we realized.
100%.
But back to these markets, Jay. Let's go through it. We could run through the regular rapid fire. We are going to be reviewing statistics. So if you want us to review your stats, post them in the Top Steps Discord under either Coach Dakota or Coach Jay's channel. I'm going to run through them real quick. On the NASDAQ, you jump in if you see something, you want something to talk about. I'm a bull. I'm a bull trader. I am typically always bullish in the market, depending on how bullish. I mean, I can short, but Coach Jay, I'm officially a buyer. I'm a buyer. I'm a more buyer now than I have been. On our way down, it's been pretty questionable, but we finally got the buying. I mean, anything can happen. It could change at a moment's notice, right? We could have some news, maybe a tariff conversation, like maybe, who knows, anything can happen. But as of right now, I am liking this price action. I like that we got lighter than expected inflation data. That was good for the markets. I like that we had this nice doji on the daily chart. I look at the daily chart, it's a top-down view. I like that yesterday we rallied, we broke above it, we got back below though. And then tonight we are starting to find buyers. So I am liking this price action in the daily. Now, it doesn't mean we can't just sell off and continue, but it's starting to entice me. It's enticing me for not only that reason, but as I was talking about last night, there is some major, this can be considered a major area of support. There's, some hesitation, there's consolidation. This was major resistance back here last April. Right? Now, it doesn't mean this might be all the consolidation and support we get for now. And maybe we do continue to sell off. But for right now, I'm liking this. And then if I zoom into an hourly chart, so zooming in, that's the daily. If I zoom into the hourly chart, these dips are now starting to be bought up. If we look at the way it was before, right, where we have a nice rally, then we spend a lot of time and then sell off. Rally, spend a lot of time, and then sell off. Buyers are a little bit stronger, right? There's more time. These dips are immediately being bought up, and it doesn't mean we can't continue to sell off. We're still in a very, very bearish market, right, as of late, and you could easily see that the trend is down. But, I mean, we could make a nice run up to find another level of resistance. Maybe we could run, and I was looking at Power Hour to see if we could make a run and a break and a test of the CPI candle high. I'm still looking for that. This is a nice level, right? This was support back on the 7th. It became resistance today. And I would like to see if we can make a deeper pullback against the trend. Maybe we could come up to these, dare I say, these 900s. That could be a possibility. But yeah, I do believe that there's room to the upside. And yeah, thoughts on that, Jay? Or like I said, I have a bad habit of looking at this market from the green glasses, but this is a better market structure than I've seen for a little bit.
So it does feel like we're starting to build a little bit of a base. If you can pull up my charts real quick. What are you laughing at?
Andre in the chat says, any RSI talk this evening, asking for a friend. Sure, Jay. If you trade the RSI, you look at the RSI, right? You don't trade it, but you look at it.
No?
All right.
I definitely don't.
No RSI. Get that out of here.
I think Wall Street Global might be doing a class right now. Shout out to David Green. But what I'm looking at, Dakota, is for the last 2 weeks, really, we've been and shout out to Coach Paul, 200 moving average on a 30-minute chart. This white line that's on my chart, it's been a resistance the entire way down. Every time we kind of come up and check it, we sell off from it. Each one of these sell-offs. But what we're seeing, and like you're kind of saying here, is this basing. And I have two other moving averages on here, the 20 and the 50, and they started to kind of braid around each other. And now the 20 is above the 50 for the first time in a long time. Now, does that mean that the sell-off is over and we continue the trend up? It doesn't, but I do agree that in this general area, at least on a longer time frame, it looks like we are. What does that mean for a day trade? If I was to get long in the NASDAQ, 19,750 is where that 200 moving average is right now. So I have to think about position management long into that moving average because for 2 weeks, it's been a resistance.
Makes sense. And that looks clean too. That makes clean. That looks really clean. That kind of proves to show you that you could always make an argument for any direction of the market, regardless of you just change time frames, add a different indicator. That moving average. It's there for a reason, right? And it shows you what kind of a trend we are in. It really does.
Yeah, it is pretty clean to the downside. Looking at the daily also, the daily 200 moving average is at 20,790. We've spent about 8 days below it in the NASDAQ, and the last time we spent that much time below it was in 2022. So that is not something that happens often. But the one thing, Dakota, all of this has been about negative news for the most part since the inauguration. The minute we say, hey, forget it, we're not going to go ahead with the tariffs, we'll be talking about all-time highs. But I think at this point, I think we need a catalyst.
Today we got a little bit though.
We did.
Now fundamental talk and market fundamentals and that shouldn't be belong in your day trading process very much.
Right.
In terms of like, yeah, I am buying right here because the data came out lighter than expected. No. However, for me, it gives me sometimes it can be very bad. Coach Jay, I have bad habits as a trader. I do. Sometimes like today, when we sold all the way down to, well, you were on with me for fast markets. Today during the New York session in the NASDAQ, it was crazy to see us sell all the way back down to settlement, right? And I'm just like,
yeah, it was wild.
I was just so amazed. I was just like, softer than expected inflation data, and we're gonna turn negative, and that's when I happened to just be like, okay, wow. And in my practice account, like if I didn't lose the 5,000, I didn't lock myself out, I would have been buying that up like that. Like,
yeah,
it didn't make sense to me. And then we had a technical setup. So over here on the 5-minute chart, if we go back to my charts, and we came down to settlement, right? Just like looking for ways to buy this, and we got this nice 3-bar reversal, and that's I did end up buying it in the stinking practice account, and it's just like, okay, wow, that worked out really well. Now, if we got hotter than expected and we're seeing this, maybe it's a little bit different, and I compare it to sports all the time. And here's another analogy, and maybe you could, I know you're going to understand this, Coach Jay, and I know you could elaborate it a little bit better than I can, is we talk about a 3-bar reversal, right? And I compare that to a pass play in the NFL. But you don't just pass the ball to the same player and do the exact same thing every single time. There's a lot of context around what's going on the field, off the field, the weather, are you up, are you down, what quarter you're in, how many minutes, what down you're in, how you're feeling, what player, who's guarding them, who's your opponent. You have a lot more going in before you snap that ball and make that play. And so that's kind of how I compare it. And then today, there's two things at play for me. When I first started, we had that nice inflation data come in, and it was very bullish. We had a huge candle on that. We pulled back, got some consolidation. As soon as the market opened, it looked really bullish, and I was making a play for a test of the high of that candle and a possible break, and then I got caught in. That's where I took my loss once we sold down, and we got all the way back down to the settlement. I took some paper cuts on the way down, trying to find areas of support, and yeah, I seen you, and you were in a great short. You shorted that, and
Oh yeah, I was a buyer. I was a buyer down at settlement too. I was buying the close a position, but yeah, that was a great level. I wish
yeah,
I hit
you
the reverse
made money
button.
on the way down, and I let my bias get to me on the way down.
Yeah.
um, it's an interesting thing, and I know. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that overall thing? Do you just follow the same setup, the same process over and over again, regardless of what news events are happening in this market, regardless of uh, fundamentals or like information like that?
Yeah, I try to take the same trade setups. I know, especially headline driven markets right now, that anytime a tweet drops or a comment or anything like that can move the markets. But I try to focus on the same technical patterns because the charts still have to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm a volume trader. Volume still has to trade, right? If we ever got a headline and there was no volume trading, then we got a way bigger issue than whatever that headline was, right? So for me,
Yeah,
you can't fake volume, right? It has to be traded. So I can make a read based on what the volume says from there. Um,
I'm going
and
to
yeah,
be. I'm going to get into a
go ahead.
trade right now, actually, Coach Jay.
Okay.
I'm in a couple
Are you buying right now?
micros in my
Yeah,
live account, and I'm going to try and get filled to the long side here.
I do like this trade. I think I'm going to take in the S&P as well.
You're going to take an S&Ps. I like
Hmm.
this. I like this pullback. We did break through this and this downtrend. We got this nice pullback. This pullback came at a nice area of support as well. And we rejected it once. We came down. We rejected it twice. And I'm being a little bit preemptive. These are micros. Making sure I'm in micros. And double check. Right account, right size, 3 micros. I might scale into this a little bit more if I maybe we could hold above this 59, looking for a 3-bar reversal. And you said you like this in the ES? Switch to your chart and
Yeah,
uh,
I'm long one micro ES. I'm actually going to go to two. I'm long two micro ES 5614 quarter. Uh, Risking about $200 on this and looking for about a 2-to-1.
I added to it. I added to mine along 4 micros.
Nice. Yeah. This will be a nice trade just to, if it works out, set a nice buffer for the New York session in the morning. If it gets me stopped out, it's not that big of a deal, risking about $200. Yeah, and it's the setup I'm looking at is we have this 30-minute opening range here. We have VWAP leaving that range. We had a test and rejection of the range, right? So we tested, bounced off of it. VWAP's leaving the range. that says get long. What I will do is if while we're on air, we get a 30-minute candle close below VWAP, I'll just take the trade off before it gets to my stop. That's the only signal that would tell me to manage this trade differently.
Okay, I see. You have a much wider stop than I do. You're on ES, right?
Oh shit! I just realized I was on my practice account. My bad.
Come on, we just said that. I just said that. Went through, made. We all make it. We do it. We're just saying we're only humans, man.
All right, there we go.
Did you get better price or worse?
No, I got worse price, of course.
Well, that's the cost of education. Cost of
got worse price. Thank you to the chat who called me practice account J. I said I was going to take this in my XFA. Thank you. Sometimes the comments from the chat do help. So thanks, guys.
The chat saves us sometimes.
They don't miss anything, man. They don't miss anything.
It's like sometimes the chat can be distracting, but then on the other hand, they'll save you. You know what? One thing I noticed, price action during the Asian session has been so much better for me.
Okay. What do you think it is?
I think it's just less noise going on. The headlines, the data, it's been a lot more calm. I know there for a while in the afternoon during this time, that's when Trump was dropping the tariff tweets, and that's when we were getting like a random 100-point sell-offs, and I better knock on some wood right now. But
oh yeah, seriously,
it's been a lot more consistent for me during this Asian session than it has been trading the New York session.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, have you considered it's hard to do, especially being on Topstep TV, being on fast markets, but just trading the Asia session and then just scaling down for New York?
That's why I switched to a practice account, Jay.
There you go. Yep.
I don't really care what anybody says in the YouTube chat when they give me crap for practice accounts. I will trade a practice account if I'm not trading my live. And I'm going to practice. That's part of it.
Yep.
Definitely
is. Are you scaling into this trade at all, or are you at max allocation right now?
I'm not at max allocation yet. Not yet. No. I'm going to see how we react. I might close out of this and see if we can get a better price. I don't like the rejected above the 60s. I didn't have as wide of a stop loss as you do. You're in 2 micros with a pretty wide stop. I'm in 4 and looking close out.
Honestly, I'm thinking should my stop be even wider than what it is right now? My stop should be.
Matt A says it's also hard to listen, talk, and trade at the same time. Don't blame you guys for using practice. Yeah, that's also very understated, right? It's like listen, talk, read the chat, manage a stream, pay attention to what each other's doing, the trades in the markets, and then end trade. Trade a live account with thousands of dollars.
Right.
Yeah, and on top of that, Friday it's going to be like, now throw that all and then add in the pressure of Friday and MP and all that. So we're gonna see. I'm super excited. It helps me lock in, and having you with me, Coach Jay, going through this process tonight. I'm enjoying this. I'm flat now, minus $88.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see if we could get better pricing. I closed it out early. My stop loss was at 38. I just closed it out early to see if we can get better pricing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, being able to buy like 600s would be pretty nice. Maybe even a little bit lower.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to hold there and we got rejected. Spam Man, what this pressure happening on Friday? So if you follow me on the Twitterverse, then you will know that I'm going to be donating to charity out of my own pocket. It has nothing to do with any company, anything, or Topstep. It's thing. It's something I'm doing myself. I love to give back. I don't believe that you need to have a reason, like a holiday or Thanksgiving or any of that to give to charity. I just did it. And I think for me, it's going to help me focus, put that pressure on me. And when I posted that, MP stepped in and said, whatever you do, we'll double it. We'll match it, and then also give it to a special charity for MP. So yeah, it was like I put 10 pounds of weight on my shoulder, and MP added another 10, kind of.
Only like MP could. It's good stuff, man. It's
Yeah.
good stuff. It's good to see that with all of the could be something else, right? It could be other stuff, but you're giving back to the community that joins us here all the time. So that is great to see. I'm trying to find a way to get on the stream on Friday. I'm not scheduled to be on it, but I might have to ask for a special guest VMix code just to jump in.
Yeah, I might have to request. I say I need Coach Jay on. Bring him in. If I take a loss, I'm calling you. I'm saying phone a friend. Phone a friend. I need a phone a friend. Come on, NASDAQ. Give me that.
I'm gonna try to jump in for sure. We got gold looking pretty interesting here. Gold is looks like it wants to break out and make a run towards those all-time highs. We do have 2950 right above us right here, but 25 points away from the all-time highs. Gold looks like it's finally trying to break out of the consolidation it's been in for the past 3 weeks. And I've been bullish gold, didn't buy it today, but this might be presenting a pretty decent buy opportunity as well.
Yeah. Someone says, "Why am I telling everybody that about me donating to charity?" So it's not an exact charity. It's to my friends. If you are on social media, you would know. I'm not going to review it, but I'm saying it so that way, if you want, you'll know. You just go on Twitter. You'll find out why. It's like you ever have a friend ask you for $10 and you give it to them. Same concept.
Yep.
Same concept. And I consider everybody a friend.
Good stuff. All right. We're getting this pullback.
We are. I'm going to see if we can hold 30. I want to see 30s hold. That nice little support and resistance that we had. You're in NASDAQ as well.
No, I'm in micro ES.
Oh, yes. Got it.
Yep. And I will add to this at 5603.
5603?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 5603. I'll add a couple contracts here.
Nice. I'm going to go through. I'm going to take a look at these other markets for a moment. I'll let you finish managing that. I'm going to look at these other markets. You could barely hear me. I'm all maxed out, so I don't know why.
Yeah, you're coming in clear here.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if I could adjust it just a little bit. I don't want to blow everyone's ears off. There we go. That's as loud as I'm going to get. Dakota would never. Nope, that's wrong, Blacklock. I will. But I will scale in around a zone. Not exactly DCA. Let's take a look. I'm gonna go finish through the rapid fire. Let me know if you see anything else happening.
Yep.
Coach Jay, I'm gonna switch back to my charts and let's take a look at these other markets. Crude oil here. Is this an opportunity to sell it? I'm going to put my check mark on a possible yes. I like this trade. If you guys have been following me for the past month or so, you'd probably know exactly what I'm looking for. Before I went on vacation last week, I was looking for this market to come down to 65.50. It looks like while I was on vacation, we did go down and test it. Now, this is an interesting level. This is a higher time frame chart. This looks like it's a 4-hour chart. This is the level that I am looking. We got maybe a 3-bar reversal on the 4-hour. We're at this level of resistance. So maybe there's a down leg. Maybe we could make a run down to $67 a barrel. And I'm going to continue to zoom in and look at this 1-hour chart. Lots of consolidation right here at the 67, these mid 67. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for a down leg, maybe a run to those 67s. And on the opposite side, can we break out of this? Can we break out of this? And I would like to see something like this. If we come up, we break out, we have a retest, and that's something like this. I would love to enter into a long here on crude oil for a breakout and the retest. I'm going to try and be patient. Being patient, wait for the retest if we do get a breakout, or just wait for this market to sell off. Maybe there could be some buying opportunities there. Or, you know what? I'm half tempted to short it right now. I mean, we are starting to see some selling coming into this market. It's a little bit hard because, as I pointed out on this higher time frame, there can still be more room to the upside, but we're kind of in the middle. We're in the middle of that range we were in for 3 months. So
Yeah, we are.
tough one to on right now. That's what I'm looking at for crude. Thoughts?
I've kind of refrained from trading crude because I was a buyer above 70s, and we can see where we are right now. But I do like that we are coming off of that higher time frame demand. That zone that we were in, that range we were in, all of the Q4 of last year, pretty much. Right now, I don't see too much of a trade. Feels like crude has been making moves when I'm not looking at it. So maybe I'll look away, and then the trade that you're looking for to alongside it will show up.
Makes sense. I'm I'm over here in the NASDAQ right now. Entering into that long position again. I am. Let me switch it to my charts. So in micros, I'm going to build that position, looking to get into a little. This is, Chair says, Dakota will never quote DCA. I do not like the term DCA, dollar cost averaging. To me, the correct is going to be scaling into a position at a zone. And I'm looking at this as a decent sized zone. So me adding to this until we get to my stop loss. Well, let's not get to my stop loss. I don't want to say that. Until we get to get maybe to the bottom of the zone. And then if we get a reversal, then I continue adding into that. Small risk.
Getting back down to the zone where I wanted to add 5603s. We're getting close. So I will add another 2 contracts there and be in full position. Probably tighten up this risk. I don't think it needs to be where it is, but we'll see. Like I said, if we get a 30-minute candle close below this VWAP, I'll just get out of this trade and not even take the ad. But we got some time. We got another 20 minutes before that happens.
Mm-hmm. We don't have insider information.
Who asked about that?
SIPIAZ is too hard. Let's just use DCA. Size in a position. I don't zone, support or resist. I understand what you're trying to say there. Risking $180 right now. 188. Market doesn't care what you call it. Nope, it does not. But new traders who are learning do. Yep. And there's improper ways. There's proper ways. You hear traders like, yeah, you don't want to dollar cost average. That's more of a, an investment or a stock term. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. If you've been here for a while, the lingo, you could interchange different words, right? And if you're a brand new trader, you don't want to add to losing positions. And if you're a brand new trader tuning in for the first time, it will look like someone's adding into a position. And you're like, wow, this coach says don't add into a losing position, yet he's in a losing position and he just added to it. And so trying to explain that, because you're not really dollar cost averaging. If it's going against you, your average goes down. But then if you enter at the same exact price, it's not really changing your entry, right? If I want to add right now, it's the exact same price. Or if it goes, in my favor, is it, yeah, there's different ways of looking at it. I just call it scaling in.
That's all it is. Risk is defined, and we go from there.
Worshipping the yellow demons. We'll see. We'll see how this trade plays out. How nice would it be if I could just be like, yeah, all my losses, I'll just take them in micros. All my winners, I'll take them in minis.
Right.
Teach me how to do that, Coach Jay.
If I could, Dakota, I don't know if I love you, man, but I don't know if we would be talking.
I'll write you I'll give you a blank check if you could teach me how to do that.
Right. I don't know. We neither one of us would be on this stream.
Yeah. Exactly. This is a good slow market. I like it. I mean, it's still fast. Like, we're still seeing more volatility than normal, right? We've rallied up 120 points and we've now sold off 60 points. So there's still a decent amount of volatility for the Asian session. It's not as insane as the New York, though.
There's a question here. What happened to 30 lot, Dakota? Do you remember when you were taking those 30 lot trades? Like when in the year that was?
Yeah, it was like April, May, June.
Okay. So I just want to, if we can pull up my charts real quick.
Yeah.
April, May, June of 2024. The ATR on the NASDAQ at that time was about 300 points. In May, it was even lower, near 240 points. Mm-hmm. All of June, it was 250. The daily ATR is twice that right now. Right? So we've been talking about scale down, scale down, scale down. And yes, Dakota did trade 30 lots last year in half of the volatility that we have right now.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, does that mean I should be trading 15 lots? I've been trading 5 minis, and 5 minis in this price action is, it's up there, man.
More than enough.
It would make anyone clinch. My account balance is not as high as it was there because I took a payout, and I just told you I've been trying to figure out and adjust my strategy in this volatility. And I mean, in no way, like, how many points, 30 minis, like, how many points is that in for $5,000? That's what, like 10, 15 points, right?
Yep.
That gives me no room in this type of a market condition.
None at all.
And it's like, you tell me you're going to give me 15 points worth of room? Like, the spread at times is half that.
Well, and then that spread with 30 contracts is insane, right? One of those tape bombs today that you could have adjusted, you could have measured a $5,000 loss and maybe realized like an $8,000 loss with slippage on a fill like that. So just the time will call for it, and I definitely don't think it's no.
Not yet. If my trading starts to get better and these markets become a lot more consistent, then I'm gonna scale up. Definitely. I am in 8 micro. Man, you got me 8 micros right now.
Check that position.
Check that position. Check that position. I'll get into one more if we could make this 3-bar reversal above 42s. This candlestick almost measured that exact zone I marked out. Come on, R-Bear. Just think about how much money we can make trading 30 lots. Just think about it.
No one ever thinks about the other side of that equation.
Think about
and sometimes you do need to be assertive, right? Sometimes you do need to be aggressive that way. But again, if you step on the gas in your Ferrari in a parking lot, you're gonna hit something. And it's the same thing here. If I just put on a 15 lot because I can, I might be putting it on right into a wall, and no one wants to do that.
Mm. Heck, man, it's always a little nerve wracking. Even with it, I get just as excited about trades like this that even are profitable and they win, compared to anything else. Uh, I really do, Coach Jay. Just it's I love the process. If I can
Yep.
make, you know, a good trade, execute it, show it in front of everybody now, and just have good discipline and follow it, that means more to me than just throwing on 30. I mean, and getting lucky. Now, the money's better, right?
Right.
But it's a thing of beauty, right? You fall in love with the game. I don't want to use the word game, but you fall in love with what we're doing. You fall in love with the process, not the money. Fall in love with the
100%.
game. It's not a game.
I
It's
think this is a game.
Dakota. Why do you stop trading gold in slow markets? I haven't looked at it as much. Everything's a game. I'm a game theorist. +1. Life is a game.
Speaking of gold, we rejected right at that 29.50 to the tick. The high of the day is 29.50, and rejected off of there. That's going to be a level that, you know, major cycle, minor cycle level maybe. Everyone who's trading gold knows we're trading 29.50. Do we have enough convinced buying to get us above it? Uh, I still like longs, but again, area of contention here. I would really have liked to see buyers kind of take out 29.50 and start to use it as a support, and they're not yet. So if I take a long in gold, there's 2 points before an area where I think I have to manage a trade. It's really not worth it taking it here,
Fair enough.
for me at least.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm managing this trade. If you have anything you want to go over and talk about, let me know. But I'm still, you guys can see, I'm in 10 micros, not minis. I'm so used to saying minis. 10 micros here, and we are out of that. We are now out of the zone. Looks like we did try and push down into it, got rejected, and already looking to push these 46s, and really liking this. And maybe we could hold this as support. It was support before. If we could get back above, I look for these 60s to come into play. And if we do get a nice strong momentum back up into these 50s and maybe 60s, then I'm going to tighten up this risk. And then I'll only be risking, like 207 or something.
Nice. I'm not really seeing anything else right now. These are somewhat slow markets. This feels like OG slow markets where we can talk about levels and uh, things like that. So not seeing a whole lot, but if something does pop up, we'll definitely take a look.
It is starting to get back to normal. I'm liking that, Coach Jay. I mean, it's still volatile, relative. It's just
Yep.
usually I'd be happy with like, wow, I can't believe we just had a 20-point move or 30-point move. 10 points would be great in like old volatility. Now, yeah, I'm already up 10 points in this trade, and I'm looking
Nice.
for another another 10 or so before I'm taking profit. Look at this. There we go.
Nice trade. Base hits. Get back on base.
Get back on base. Gosh, if this was only just 10 minis, right?
If only.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we not doing 10 minis? 15. We are taking almost no heat.
Sometimes you need a layup, or sometimes you just need to see something go and with pressure on, right? You've been doing it in a live account. I think you did it the exact right way. You did it in a practice account first. You reminded yourself that you can read the markets. Now you're doing it with some skin in the game, not a whole lot of risk. And then by the time we get back to it, you'll be right back to where we were. I kind of missed my opportunity to add there. But I'm going to leave it for now.
Finally make a good trade, man. All right. Don't think about it. This is...
Nope.
I'm passionate about this stuff, all right? I really am.
Yeah.
Even if it was just one micro, I'd just be like, oh, man, it feels so good. Just continue to watch this. Let's get to some questions, by the way, while I wait for this.
Manage your trade, man. I got the questions. Yeah, chat, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll tips for traders that are scared to press the sell and buy button from Mason. Trade with a risk amount that you're truly comfortable with losing. A lot of times you're going to hear suggestions from people that say, risk X amount or X percentage of your account. But if you're not truly comfortable with that, you're not going to do it comfortably, right? So you might have to scale down, take one micro, and like Dakota said on Twitter, take the same trade for a year with one micro until you build that confidence, right? And then at the end of it, like you can't be scared, right? If you are ever scared to place a trade, at some point, if you can't get over that fear, it might truly be a time to say, hey, maybe I can't do this, because you have to do it at the end of the day, right? No one makes any money from trading by not clicking the button. So identify setups that you like, put the risk on, and be okay with whatever it is if that trade goes to zero. But it means you're looking at something correct. And I think Darth Buddha just said it. If you're scared to place a trade, a lot of times I think what could happen is we have our analysis, right? We have our way that we look at the markets, and then we almost want to protect it, right? Where it's just like, hey, this is how I look at the markets. And this is what it looks like when I'm right. And we're so afraid to put our idea out there and for it to be wrong that we don't click the button. And then on the weekend, when everything is not moving, you go to your charts and you back test for 100 hours and you're like, yeah, I would have taken it here and there. You just have to click the button, right? You cannot be afraid to be wrong. Can't be afraid of rejection from the markets. You don't get paid if you don't click the button. So
yeah, you can't get experience, right? It's like that the joke here in the United States is you graduate college and the companies are looking for recent college grads with 20 years experience.
Right.
As soon as you get out of school, you have to get that experience, right? And then you could slowly graduate, get that experience, develop your process, get better.
Yep. All right. What other questions?
Are
we doing an account review today?
Yeah, we'll do account review the last 30 minutes. The last 30. Oh, well.
Sounds good.
Gosh, man, it's already been an hour, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Here's a question real fast, Jay. I like this one. Is adding a loser bad, or is it better to add to a winner?
I'd say it's worse to add to a loser than to a winner. But both of them can be bad if you don't measure your risk, right? If you're adding to a winner just because it's a winner, it's probably not a good enough reason to add, right? If you have 2 contracts on and you're like, oh man, I could have made so much more money if I had 10, and then you just throw another 8 on, that's not a good reason to add to a winner just because it's a winner. So I think it all depends on how you manage the risk anytime you click that button.
Yeah, and I could say it's not a winner or a loser until after the trade is over. Right? So for me, I look at it as you place a trade, it's not a loser until you get your stop loss hit. That's what I was saying is scaling into a trade is okay. I could argue you have higher probabilities if you scale into a trade that's already going in your favor, because that means the market's already confirming that your thesis and your trade is being confirmed is correct. And you could also make an argument to say adding to a trade that's going against you, It might be lower probability, but you could be increasing your risk reward. That's why it depends so much. I would say it's a lot easier to add to a trade that's going in your favor already than it would be to add to a trade that's going against you, because traders have a bad habit of moving stop loss. Now, if you have the discipline and the confidence to not move your stop loss, keep your stop losses the same, because your stop loss is there for a reason. It's there where your trade is invalid. And if you're comfortable adding anywhere, between where you enter and your stop loss, above or below your entry, then I think it just depends on you.
Yep. When should someone move to break even? Like on your current trade, why haven't you moved to break even yet? Well, that question is definitely for Dakota because my current trade is a loser right now.
Yeah.
But
It depends. It depends. So
yep,
my
it
original
depends.
stop loss was down here. See it? It was down near 601. As soon as it started going in my favor and started breakout, I moved my stop loss to the next pivot low right there. Now, I myself and my strategy, I move my stop loss with a reason. So, is there a way for me to move my stop loss right now? As of right now, I could make an argument to move it below this little candle pivot. It's not a big enough pivot for me. I would like to see something where we do have, right now this could be, is this a pullback? And then we look to continue? I don't know. Or is this just going to be continuing down? I'm not sure. But what I want to see is something like this, right? Some type of move, some type of the way that I view these markets, maybe some type of a pivot point, support resistance. If we consolidate here for a minute and I see a good reference to move my stop loss, then I will move my stop loss. I personally do not move my stop loss just because I want to break even on a trade. That to me is an emotional. It's like, yeah, I'm just going to move my stop loss because I don't want to lose money. Now, it doesn't mean there's strategies that work like that, as long as you can measure it and it helps your trading. There's nothing against it. But for me, myself, I'm going to wait for a pivot. And as of right now, so far, moving my stop loss to maybe 637 might be decent, because now we're starting to see, like I said, this was support. I wanted to see this hold to support. It held here. And now if we hold here again, if we push back up, then yeah, this would be a valid place to move my stop loss, right up maybe to 36, maybe up to, 38, depending on, if this market does catch some momentum to the upside. So this now could be a better case to move my stop loss. It's not going to be just directly at break even. No, it's going to be at a point of invalidation for me. And it's sometimes the markets just do exactly what I tell them to while it's happening. Just make this pivot for me, please. RDev, shorting every rally has been about an 80% win rate in this market. I can say on a higher time frame over the past few weeks, that to me sounds very factual. Nice seller rejection here. Let's follow through.
I got 40 seconds on this trade.
You have a time stop?
Yeah, if this 30-minute candle closes below VWAP, I'm taking the trade off.
Okay, I might bail on this trade too.
And it could end up working out, but that is just a rule that I have. If this candle closes below it, I'll take it off, and if I like it still, I'll get in at a better spot.
Like it. We did get up to 655 here in the NASDAQ, so I was in the money 20 points. I'm looking for this market
I'm
to
out.
rotate back up into these 60s. Are you out now, Jay?
Yeah, I went flat on that. Lost $50. I said it when I got into that trade. If the 30-minute candle closes below VWAP, I'm going to get out. It closed about a point below it, so I'm out there.
Okay, I closed mine as well. I closed mine early. I didn't let it run all the way down to my stop. So I was down 88. I'm down 140 on that one.
Okay. Just didn't give us what we were looking for. Maybe some favorable price action, but started to flatten out a little bit. I think we can get a better price if we still.
Is volatile. 20 points in 1 minute.
Is that what the
Okay.
Nasdaq just did?
Yeah, it's not. It's going. Yeah, it's quite the move right there. I closed it out at 36.
Oh, and we're already almost
We're in the
15 points lower.
Yeah, we're already yeah, that well, it's not slow markets, Coach Jay. That's 30 points in a minute or a minute and a half. This volatility, man. Short Life says, guys,
Chat.
sell them any price.
Yeah, I see that. Everyone wants us to short it. Someone else said it was a no-brainer short also.
I hope everybody's shorting it who's saying short it.
Yeah, don't just talk to us. You guys be making money right now.
Do it, man. Do it. Make money. Tilt 63% long. Make money. Make money. See you on the leaderboard. This price action's madness. Fade the longs. Short any volume in that move down. I'm not looking at the volume right now, Coach Jay.
It's pretty insignificant.
Look right back up.
Yep.
Is this a stop hunt? Are we stop hunting? And I think
Could
it's about
be.
time. I think it's about time for statistics.
Let's do that.
Let's do that. If you find any, I'm going to look through on my end as well. I have one.
I have one also.
Okay, I'm going to go over mine first because this is my Pop Squad VIP member. And
Okay.
I'm going to prioritize my Pop Squad team. Because that's the advantage of being on my Pop Squad team. If I'm going to review an account and they want me to review it, we're reviewing it. Okay. Details, it just says, here, you can let me have it with the over trading. LOL. Okay. Well, what do you want me to let you have this? What's wrong with this? There's nothing to let you have it. Oh, I like this. This is new. Best day percent of total profit. 18%.
I think that's been on there now.
Is
that new?
This is a combine. No?
I think that's been there.
Are you sure? I thought it was winning percent day, not best day percent.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Total profit.
You're right. You're right.
I'm assuming the lower the better, right?
Yeah, because then if 90% of your
yeah, so this
profit
is good.
came from one day. Yep.
This to me seems low, which is good because 50% is the rule, correct?
Yep.
So 18% is pretty dang good. 19% is good. So I like to see that. That just shows consistent. And you can kind of see it in this graph, right? There's no crazy volatility. It's no crazy swings. It's nice, solid, consistent. Up $3,600. That's good. Solid, very solid. Yes, you are definitely a member of Pop Squad. You represent. Here's a good. Yeah, I like these. I like them. Nothing too crazy. Got off to a rough start. Journaling. Good job on the journaling. This is a Topstep account, not an FTMO. This is Topstep. This is Topstep. This is Topstep X. This is the statistics on Topstep X. So got to a rough start, but the P&Ls are. This is why micros are so amazing. Guarantee you these are micros. What a beautiful thing. Like, look, you have plenty of time and room to trade and follow your process. You don't see just two trades and you like big P&L swings of thousands of dollars. Micros, 1 micro, 1 micro. Maybe you're scaling into a position. No, these are individual trades, right?
It looks like it, yeah.
This is VIP of Pop Squad right here. This is nothing to criticize. I have no credit. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying by over trading because it's 108 trades, right? But if you can continue to put up these statistics, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. Keep up the good work. We have a team meeting on Thursday, and this is a good example. If you do this same thing over and over and over again for a long period of time, it's not about the little individual days, right? $400 a day is amazing money. I mean, look at this. What are you at? $3,600 in a month and a half.
Yep.
That's great. That's wage. That's consistent. This is consistent. Beautiful. You make $3,600 trading micros. Trading micros. It's doable. You could pass 100K combine. It's a thing of beauty. So good work.
Real quick, Dakota.
Yeah.
Look at the 26th. Look at the 26th. Just go into the trades on the February 26th.
Okay. Ooh. Oh. Uh-oh.
Just be aware of days like that.
Uh-oh. Let's see.
Nice recovery. But man, just be aware of days like that. I've had days like that recently, actually. We have to be very careful of those type of days.
Let me look. I gotta look now. Let's see what happened here. Did you scale in? No, these are minis. That's what happens.
At a point, yeah.
That's what happens. Look at these losses coming from minis.
I think the traders in the chat, we can't see the journals that you guys post there. But I think the trader pawn is in the chat. So just be aware of that. I mean, you're trading really well. You were able to recover it. That was the last day I traded minis and made the switch. Great switch.
Yep. Hopefully this is the last day that trader trades minis. Yeah, the rest of these are looking like micros. Yeah, don't trade minis. Stay with the micros for now. Stay with those micros. Stay consistent. 1 to 3 micros. The rest of these are looking a lot better. Hopefully that's you don't really want to be in that position again. You don't. You really don't. That's a tough one to be in. So keep it up, man. Keep it up. Great work. Stay away from minis. Stay away from minis. I would stay in 1-3 micros until you get your first 2 payouts. To be honest, you take a couple payouts, then maybe consider scaling up. Like you already made it to the 1% of traders if you can keep doing this time and time again. That's a professional trader if this is consistent. Okay. Anything else? Are you
no, I think that was really good. I got one report that I do want to bring up as well.
Okay, go ahead.
If we can. This is a trader who is in the Coach J chat all the time. He's been in that chat for a year. JD, and I think JD is watching right now. This is an XFA started February 20th. Down on this XFA, down $250 on the XFA. I don't believe there were any payouts from this account. And just kind of back and forth. I know how JD trades, Dakota, and I talk to him pretty much every day. But I want to get your opinion on what you see in this account. Trying to stick to micros for the most part. I see a couple of trades in the minis in here as well. Your biggest trade is 2 lot in the minis. JD, I know you put this in the chat and said, I'm going to put myself on the chopping block. I'm going to say you read the markets really well. Your analysis is great. I think the inconsistency I see with you is in the position size that you trade, right? Where sometimes you're in micros, sometimes you're in minis. If you traded only micros, this is an account that is very green. So that's what I have to say on it. I'm curious about Dakota's opinion. I know what you're looking at in the markets. And I would
Hmm.
say don't put as much pressure on yourself to produce results. You know what you're looking for, and it's just about execution.
I'm going in deep. Going trading a bunch of different markets. Inconsistent trade size. Let me go through. Let me see. What's your worst P&L has been? Worst trade was only $200. It's not bad. If the worst trade was $200, it's just frequent. So for me, the way I'm looking at this, if your worst trade is only $200 and your best trade 600, like you've had a lot of good trades. Like plus, let me show mine. So this is what I'm looking at, Coach Jay. Plus 600, plus 500, 400, 400, 400, 300, 3, 3, 2, 2. So big trades, comparing them to your worst trades, $200. That should be a positive P&L. Like just comparing the extremes, right? Look at this, $100 or $200 losses, and then we look at these winners. They're double. Look, these are big winners. But then I think the issue is if we go up, it's probably going to be the win percentage. So quality trades. I'm going to chalk this one up to trade quality. I don't know your strategy. I don't know this trader's strategy. I think if this trader took less trades but higher quality trades. Now,
Mhm.
what does higher quality trades mean? I don't know. I do see there's a lot of markets that this trader is taking. Maybe focus on the markets that you do better in and look for just be more selective possibly. I don't know. This is a difficult one to really see. You need just better quality trades, I guess.
I do like the suggestion of maybe scaling back some of the markets. Um, I think what I see here is micro Nasdaq, some Nasdaq, some gold, some Japanese yen, uh,
What the
crude
trader
oil as well.
what the
Go ahead.
trader could do is on the dashboard, I think you could see which market your P&L is. You could see your statistics on each individual market, right? On the dash, not this one, but on the regular dashboard. But being more selective, I think, is I don't know.
It's a good suggestion.
This is a tough one because it's not extremely obvious other than like size consistency and I don't know. I it's I hmm.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and you're not far off, right? Like this account, you probably have. I think this might be a 50K XFA. So you're in a little bit of a drawdown, and you're probably approaching that max loss limit on the account. Don't think about it. Just take good trades. I really do love Dakota's suggestion, right? Just uh, narrow your focus a little bit, at
Narrow
least
the
until you
focus.
get this account back above water.
Yeah. No other decent trades. Yeah, I think that's all I have for that. We only have 15 minutes. If you want to see another one, I'm going to go through these markets one more time, Coach Jay, see if anything else is moving. NASDAQ, we did get further sell off down to this next level of support, the bottom end of this zone, which makes sense to me, right? We broke through that level of resistance. Support and resistance we had, we broke through it. When we break through, typically we move to the other side of this zone that we have. And so now we did go test down these 607s. The next question I have is this support? And we go back up to 620s. It looks like we did bounce off it a little bit. And then do we break through this? And then I think if we break through, I am seeing NASDAQ get to these 580s, 590s. And then, of course, the 560s, 560 level. So those are the two. I mean, this is basically the zones that I see playing tonight for the Nasdaq. And now let's move.
Uh,
Go ahead.
the ES did come back down to that. I kind of missed it. Remember, guys, when I said I was going to add at 5603s? We got down to 5603.75, and I didn't add there, but I may give this trade one more chance. where I'm buying it here, risking right below this pivot here, and looking for a trade back up to VWAP. And then if we can reclaim it, yeah, I'm going to put this on now.
That's
Long 2 micros, risking below this low right here, only another $50. If we get back above VWAP, great. If not, I'll take it off there.
yeah. I'm the same. And I see short life hacks in there. Buy them now. Buy them.
Short life got out. So is it now long life hacks?
Long life. Hey. It's okay to be down on your account, just not down on life.
I like that.
I watched I got that from John Daly. You know who he is?
The golfer?
Yeah. He was on a YouTube channel and he was out golfing and he's like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to be down in golf or something, but not down in life.
It's a good quote.
It is. He's always has some banger quotes. I don't know if I even like long here. I want to see.
I don't love it because I'm down 2 points already, but
yeah, you're in your XFA trading micros. Okay.
yeah.
Rusty Golfer says Daly is the best. He is. He doesn't even practice swing. He just walks up there and just hits it. He's a legend. Hitting golf balls off beer cans. He's golfing with his son. There's 97 contracts on NQ and another 50. I'm on micros. Let's take a look at this NQ. There's 300, dude. There's 300.
300. Yeah. 628.75.
628.
Interesting.
628.
Am I seeing that wrong?
No, you're right. 303. I see 303 at 628 3/4.
And then another 500 at 639.
And I'm so sick of these big orders, dude. I'm so sick of this.
I mean, the last time we saw them, they remember that call out. You know what was really funny about that Twitter post that you had, where I think you were on Solo Markets. You called out the a couple of thousand lots, and you posted on Twitter, and you're like, is this the time to sell it? And the response, and this just goes to show everyone looks at the markets differently. Where some people are like, oh no, that means that this is a long. And the conversation we had was that's a short, and it's been a short for 3 weeks.
I know. That's when we were at 22,200
Yep.
when we first seen those.
Yeah, that size told the story. Right up in this consolidation right here, a couple of thousand lots overnight getting traded, and they sold it, and they've been selling it ever since.
Right. The rest are just ones and twos in the NASDAQ. Ones and twos. Well, the question now is, do we go up there and fill them? Why 300 at 28 3/4 and why 500 at 39?
Yeah.
That's the question. If we sell off tomorrow, dude.
They've been selling. So what's crazy, I mean, we see every once in a while we see one step in on the bid, right? But there's never any real follow through. There hasn't been any real follow through on any of those bigger bids that we see. It's almost like they're just covering whatever shorts they were in. And again, we don't know what the intentions are, but watch what happens after one of those big orders get filled. When they're on the offer, there's follow through to the downside. When they're on the bid, there's no follow through to the upside.
What's rollover, right?
That too.
It's rollover.
I mean, it wasn't rollover 3 weeks ago.
It was not rollover 3 weeks ago, no. And I'm liking the longs here a lot better on these micros. So I'm going to go ahead and get me into some of these micros. Identical trade a moment ago, and let's see if I could get it. I'm buying at the bid, and it hasn't filled me yet. I'm thinking Dang thing's not going to fill me. There we go. There's 2. Make sure I have my stop in right there. Gave me 2 at 618. Let's see if we could add a few more. It's running from me. The spread's pretty tight in micros. I've never had to worry about spread or liquidity in micros.
Nope. The Nasdaq actually wants to move. The S&P is just asleep over here.
That's the difference.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm going to add a couple more here. You have an eye on, you're watching ES. Are you in ES, you said?
Yeah, I'm in 2 MES from 5607. Okay. I may add to this. Yeah, I'm in 4. I'm in 4. That's enough risk. Risking $100.
Okay. My risk is right at 200 right now. I still haven't gotten used to this volatility. Every time I look and I see where my stop loss is, I think it's like, okay, that's about 10 points. And no, it's not. It's 25. It's adjusting to the, how these candlesticks, how wide these candlesticks
are. Here we go. We're coming up to this 628.75, 301. They haven't moved it. So let's see. Eternal Green Trade says, I've been watching you guys for a while, and today passed 250K. They pulled that order.
They pulled that order?
They pulled that order. Yep. Just using it as a magnet almost. They pulled it.
Of course, I didn't get into my full position. Move my stop loss up to 605. Coach Shoop in the chat. He's watching. Coach Shoop is watching. Pulled spoofers. I'm telling you what, man. I wish there was some CFTC form we could just fill out and send in.
It's like we are watching them actively spoof the markets.
We watch these markets daily. Just give us an explanation. It's uncalled for. And we could send them clips of our YouTube watching them, because these are live. These are real orders. This isn't sim. This isn't anything. And so, yeah. We have no idea, and I know there's no way to prove it, but we gotta voice some level of frustration on it. At least for me.
Is it a spoof? That they left it out there long enough for us to see it, right? For the market to trade to it.
As soon as the market started going the direction, they pulled it.
They're like, no, I don't want him anymore.
They're like, yeah, you know what? No. Got to be quicker than that. Just come on, CFTC. Go in, look, see who put that order on the books, and see if they're getting filled in a different account prior to it. That's all they got to do. Just these guys buying it with that order, using it to scare the market so they could buy it, and just tell me. I know they can't. They have to. They are the market matadors. It's just above it. Do we have that big order still in there?
Yep, 504 sitting at 639.
Okay. So we still got room. Bitcoin on the move. Well, I'll check Bitcoin in a moment. The big guys are allowed to spoof. They just don't get caught.
JD says, what was that dude's name that they blamed the flash crash on? He's back. Navinder Saro, right?
In London in his parents' basement.
He was a scapegoat.
Fast markets and slow markets. Yeah, this is up 10 points in a minute. Yeah.
Here's a good question from Spam Man. Does them pulling the order give you confidence it's going to keep running up? So 2 things here, right? The bigger orders, a lot of times they act like magnets. So what I'm looking for is, okay, let's just go magnet to the next one. But that is a passive seller that's on the books. So if they do want to come in and sell and just throw the order back out there or go to market, then that could push us lower. But for right now, that order's not there. So I'm looking at magnet to 639, and then we'll see what happens when we get up there.
Yeah, makes sense. Short Life says JP Morgan just pays the regulatory fine of hey, you know what? If the fine's cheaper than how much they're making, that's
Right.
some traders might his like max fine 100,000. Well, I make more than that on this trade, so it's like commissions to them, right? Is that what?
Right. Cost of doing business.
Cost of doing business. It's funny. This was the story of my December, Coach Jay. In December, this same thing happened. I was up 20 points in a lot of trades. I didn't close out of it. I let it turn around and come back, and I either took a small profit or a loss. Here I am again, back-to-back trades. I was up 20 points on the last one, and I'm in a good position on this one. I think this is going to be one I'm going to...
They pulled it again. Moved it up to 659. Yeah.
Hey, if they want to manipulate this market up, do it.
Come on.
I'm for it.
So now it was at 639. So we can see that, right? I forgot who asked the question, but you can see how that's acting like a magnet right now. And the market's trading to it. And then they're pulling it up. If they sold there, then any of the buyers, right? Think about what they're in live markets as well. I know people say, volume doesn't matter. But in order for us to trade through that, somebody needs to buy, or the market collectively needs to buy 502 contracts right now at 659. So if they're attracting buyers and someone says, oh yeah, we need to buy 500 contracts, and then they move it, those 500 contracts get bought, then the market just moves the way it just did.
I sold one at 640 and a quarter. I'm going to close out at 2 more up here and see if I can leave a runner on. Pay for dinner tonight. Yeah, here's my thought process right now, Coach Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I do this in micros, and I say how much I love the process, right? If I would have just followed my normal process.
Yep.
This is toxic thinking, okay, everybody? But it's my thinking nonetheless. I don't mind sharing it. If I would follow my normal process, 5 minis, close it out for 20 points. That previous trade right there was $2,000. Okay. This trade, 5 minis, $2,000. And sometimes this is what frustrates me. If I show up to fast markets tomorrow morning and I follow my normal process with minis and I take a loss, I'm going to be pissed. I don't know. I know it's hard. This is where I get my emotions, and it's similar to when I switch from different accounts. Thinking about the P&L, right, is the wrong way to do it. But
right, when
I have a low win percentage, I want to take full advantage of those winners. And sometimes it's very difficult, right? I know I preach process over profits, this and this, but this is just me thinking out loud because traders want to know what goes through my head, what emotions I go through. So this is me thinking out loud. I usually keep this stuff to myself and not talk them out loud, talk about it out loud. But yeah, this is the process I follow, regardless of whether it's 5 minis, 3 micros, whatever. But like these are the emotions that I think of day to day, every day for the past 14 years. Like same thing.
I have a question for you. Would you have taken the trade again if that was a $2,000 loss?
Yeah. And here's the next thing. And I know a lot of traders are not going to be able to relate to this one. I don't think there's another trader in this world that might not be able to relate to this one. This one I find a little more unique to me is I'm going to be on air tomorrow. I'm going to be on fast markets tomorrow. And part of the reason why I didn't want to jump into minis tonight is because if I end up taking a loss,
Got to show it.
I will show it tomorrow, and if I say say I took that last trade, I lose 2,000. I take another trade, I lose 2,000, and then I show up tomorrow morning, and I just have to sit there in fast markets and not really trade. And it's like, if I take my loss tonight, I'm not going to be trading tomorrow morning on air. So I have a responsibility in a way to make sure I have an active live account tomorrow morning for fast markets, because they'll go crazy if I hop in tomorrow and say, yeah, I hit my loss last night. I'm just going to be trading my practice account today. Oh man, I'm not going to hear the end of it from the YouTube chat and from everybody.
Oh yeah.
Like, that is why it's unique, because I'm essentially, I trade 2 trading sessions, right? I trade the night before, and then I trade in the morning. And I kind of have to split up my risk. And so I've been thinking about being like, I have $2,500 worth of risk in slow markets, and then I have $2,500 worth of risk in fast markets, and trying to balance that. So there's a lot that's been going through my mind ever since I've been at Topstep, and that has been one of them. Thinking about size, thinking about my process, thinking about, I'd love to sit here and swing 30 contracts each night, but everyone has to understand, I have a daily loss limit. I use my daily loss limit because I don't mind it. That's how much I'm okay with losing in a day. Hey, if I lose 5,000, I'm fine. That is how much I go into the day. If I have a losing day, it's going to be $5,000. And if I'm going to swing 30 contracts overnight, I'm going to be waking up, getting ready to go on air with a daily loss limit. And traders want me to trade my live account, and I want to trade my live account during fast markets. I do love trading fast markets. Not in this fast of markets, though. These fast of markets are
these are insane. This is something different.
Our next level.
For sure. I took the risk off that trade. 56.10 is where I'm out.
Come on.
If that gets tagged there. But yeah, I think, it's everything you just said there, Dakota, is true. It's something that we accepted stepping into, right? Being coaches, being streamers on YouTube, and showing the trades. And I think you've been extremely transparent with the whole thing. And I see some people in the chat saying it, and sometimes I do it too. And in chat, we love you guys. Thank you all for joining us and liking the videos and being part of the community every day. I don't have the YouTube chat open for the first hour of the New York session.
Yeah.
So if you guys tag me in something, I'm not going to see it.
Because that's probably good. Yeah.
We got to execute, right? We got to execute. And, we can talk after the fact, but hopefully what we're doing here is helping you with your trading journey. I know it's helped with mine. Just being confident in what you're looking for, and having to show it to 6,000 people watching every once in a while. But we really appreciate the audience we have here.
I know it is. It's like, here's an easy solution. Just make money. If you make money at slow markets,
right? Just
then
shut
you're
up.
You're gonna go into fast markets with a buffer,
right?
But now remember, I'm just going through everything that goes through my head when you guys ask me what size, why didn't I get into my normal position size, this, and this, and it's for those reasons. Like that. That's some of the stuff that I go through. I know you go through that, Coach Jay, because we're in a unique situation now. Does that mean we'll trade any different? I mean, that is where I could see me trading different if I wasn't on air, than if I was by myself. By myself, I probably would have, win or lose bigger. I do it whenever I feel confident in a trade. I won't miss a really good opportunity. If I see something I really like, it's going in minis, regardless. If I see a setup that I see on a higher time frame and I like it, and I say, you know what, this is going on minis. I don't care waking up in the morning. They're just going to have to deal with it if I take a loss. Like that sometimes is my mindset, is I'm a trader first, and if this is a trade I'm going to be waking up tomorrow with a daily loss limit, then that's a different story. Friday will be different though. That's for sure. I'm not trading Thursday night. I got to go into Friday morning with
clear mind.
with a clear mind, a clean account, and ready to roll.
100%. This was fun. This was fun. Good slow market session. Got a couple trades in. Sitting in a winner right now. Small winner, but it's the process. And for me, I'm going to be more assertive in my best trading time. My best trading time is during the New York session. So I'm okay not putting on minis right now in these trades. But during the New York session, if it calls for it, that's when I need to step on the gas.
Yeah. Well, Wednesday goes by so fast with you, Coach Jay. Another one in the books. Next week, have you on next Wednesday. Hopefully, are you on? When are you on next?
I think I'm on tomorrow. Tomorrow for Back to the Futures. So 1 p.m. Central.
Awesome. Hopefully, maybe we could convince them to get you on Friday. So I will be on Fast Markets tomorrow morning. It's quite the week for me. I took a vacation, so I am enjoying being on with Fast Markets, and so I've been a heck yes, let's do it. I'll be on Fast Markets tomorrow morning. If not, it's not going to be till tomorrow night, and then Friday is a big one for us. So I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. Thank you, Coach Jay. I'll talk to you tomorrow, probably through Discord, through chat, and
sure.
We'll have a heck of a time.
Have a good one, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.